was 11 years old. His name was Pablo Lopez. But in his village, he was called El Huérfano, which means the orphan. And that was the reason for Pablo's journey. To Pablo, an orphan has no one. But he had someone. He had an uncle whom he had never seen. And so one day, Pablo set out to find this uncle, to prove to all the world, and especially to himself, that he too had a place where he would belong, and a person who would belong to him. Since his uncle lived in a different country, Pablo knew he might face some problems. Right there was problem number one, the border station. Since he had no thought of turning back, he would just make certain he was fully prepared to go on. First and most important, his uncle's letter. It had been written to his grandmother, and when she died, it became Pablo's most precious possession. Next, also very important, the map. If he followed this line, he would be guided to his uncle's village, a place called Tucson in the United State of Arizona. It was somewhere beyond that hill. Finally, a plea for safekeeping on his journey. And oh yes, forgiveness for a small iniquity he was about to commit. Pablo had listened closely when the men of his village had spoken of this matter of crossing the border. Without the official paper, they said, one must be very clever in avoiding the station. Very well, he would be both clever and cautious.
Voy a detenerlo mientras usted atiende a la señorita.
Bien. Welcome to Mexico, señorita.
Cricket!
You have her health certificate, señorita?
Yes.
She is welcome to Mexico, too. After all, it is her country.
¿A dónde se fue, pues?
Would you like me to come inside?
Yes, señorita. You must fill out some forms. Please, park over there.
Thank you.
At this same moment, a short distance away, a border resident prepared for a counterattack on the biggest, squarest tortoise he'd ever seen. This old-timer knew he could never outcrawl that thing. It sure was fast for a tortoise. He might as well just move in and call his bluff. When it came right down to the face-off, though, the old-timer couldn't take it. There was just too much tortoise inside that shell. It was less than 100 yards to the border now, but there was to be another confrontation, and this time it would change the whole course of Pablo's life.
The heat sticks these together.
How hot is it?
110. ¿Lo alcanzaste?
Sí. Siéntate.
A small wetback trying to sneak into your country. The certificates, please.
Little boy like that. All alone. Do you speak English? Really?
Sí, I speak English. 2 años, 2 years.
That's very good. Does your family know where you are?
I don't think he's got a family, señorita. We see many boys like this. A lot of trouble.
I have an uncle,
They all have an uncle.
but mine is real, and he lives in Tucson.
Well, so do I.
Maybe you know my uncle. Rosario Lopez?
Rosario Lopez. No, I'm afraid not.
I'll show you that later.
I'm sorry. I can't read Spanish.
Please, let me.
Would you mind?
Mi querida mamá. It says that he's making good money, that he's a bracero, a pin picker.
See, and he was in the American Army, too.
Don't those men move around a lot? Wouldn't it be awfully hard for you to find him?
You would never find him. This letter's 5 years old. Ven aquí. Boy, do you know what would happen if you went out into that desert? 1 or 2 days and piff! You would be like a raisin. Y ahora, niño, silencio, eh? Will you please come with me to fill out the forms?
Cricket? Where did she go? For goodness sakes. Cricket! Cricket, I'm surprised at you.
It's okay. She don't hurt nothing. Yo just want about your tía. But I gotta save it.
Señorita.
Look, why don't I leave her here with you for a minute? You could keep each other company, okay?
Okay.
Now, you stay there next to him. If she gets any more ideas, you tell her stay. Stay. Like that.
This way, please.
Wish there was something I could do for that boy.
We will take care of it, señorita.
Bueno, ahora sí estamos listos. ¿Cómo te llamas, eh?
Pablo Lopez.
Quédate ahí, ¿eh?
Sí, señor.
Marco.
Do you see them?
No, señorita. We look over there.
No están ahí.
Yeah, tampoco.
Now what do we do?
We must get back to the station. The sun will find them for us, señorita. They get thirsty.
Why you run after me? I got enough troubles. Oh, no, you don't. You're not going to show them where I am. Now you can't get out.
Pablo's journey would be long, and his food supply was short. But the Chihuahua knew nothing of that. Since they were in this thing together, it should be share and share alike.
Okay, I give you a little.
With the coming of night, Pablo was ready and eager to be on his way. The actual crossing was only a single step now. It should have been easy, except for one small nagging problem.
Quiet. You make noise in the morning. Then they find you. for me. Vámonos, pues. 4,000 pastas solo han quedado en el rancho que era mío. Ay. Ta, 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 ta.
It was several long, dark miles to the nearest farmhouse. Here, the small travelers would spend their first night together.
Oh, girl.
Jack, breakfast's ready.
Okay, just a second.
Of course, Pablo knew that the Border Patrol would be searching for him. So he had already decided to avoid the roads and cut straight across the desert to reach his goal. At the moment, though, his first concern was food.
Oh, vaca. Oh. Ay, mamá.
In his short life, Pablo had learned that bountiful moments were few, and that one should always use them to prepare for the future. trash barrel will gladden the heart of any small boy. To Pablo, it was a treasure trove.
Well, hello, George.
Morning, Mary.
Come in and have a cup of coffee. What brings you out so early?
To stay even a moment longer was dangerous. Yet to survive in the desert, he must be prepared. Pablo was used to improvising. He would outfit himself as best he could.
Now I take care of you. It's better you stay here.
Hey, George, you don't suppose that kid lit out across the desert, do you?
Not if he's got good sense. Never can tell what a kid that age will do.
Pablo thought he had taken care of the last remaining detail. But the detail didn't care to remain. In the nick of time, a quick kick.
Hey, George, wait a minute. I hear something out here at the barn.
Hi, tú. I cannot take you with me. Look, ese es el desierto. Bad hot. In 2 minutes, you'll be like a raisin. Okay? So now go. Ándale, go, go. Go, go back. Hey, dog. Dog. Hi, tú. How do you know I changed my mind, huh? Bueno, pues, I take you with me. But first, I look on map where I go. Ah, sí. Para allá voy ahorita. Vámonos, pues. Vámonos. Vámonos.
By now, the search for Pablo was widespread, and among the searchers was Helen Gordon, the tourist lady. Her holiday in Mexico had been indefinitely postponed. Of course, she loved and missed her little dog, but her deep concern was for the boy. She would scan the desert many times in her return to Tucson. On this first day, here in a forest of giant saguaro, the sun offered only a pleasant warmth. In the manner of a small boy, Pablo responded to the mood of the moment. There was pursuit behind him and danger ahead. But for here and now, there was only the brave song of the ocarina. Pablo was well schooled in desert lore. Now, to conserve his water supply, he would take some liquid refreshment from the barrel cactus. This is not, however, the easiest way to strike water. It was 30 minutes and 300 chops before Pablo tapped the barrel cactus. The spongy heartwood stores the watery fluid and can be pressed into service as an on-the-spot spigot. The moods of the desert are infinite and varied. Mid-afternoon found the small travelers among the Ocotillo, a place of uneasy shadows stirred by a lonesome wind. The winds of the afternoon had already given way to the stillness of early evening when Pablo found a place to spend the night. It seemed ideal. All through the day, this rocky niche had gathered the heat of the sun. Against the chilly hours to come, it would provide warmth and comfort. It was time now to set the table for a supper gleaned from the desert. There would be 3 courses: desert acorns, mesquite beans, and cactus fruit. Not exactly to a dog's taste, perhaps, but there was some leftover tortilla to satisfy that. So far, the desert had been kind to Pablo, and he was well pleased with the progress of his journey. Even the small dog had been a very small problem, almost nothing at all. As for the things of tomorrow, they could wait for tomorrow. This had been a very good day.
No era mucho, pero bueno, ¿eh?
What's more, the best part was yet to come.
And now, música. You wanna dance? No, not like a jumping bee. We try again. Not like that either. Más calmado. I show you. Up, up, come on. Ta-da-ta-da-ta-ta-ta-da. Ta-da-ta-da-ta-ta-ta. Bueno, now we begin. Bravo, bravo, little dog. You like music, eh? What did the lady call you? Cricket? A bug? That's no good. I call you Chiquita. Chiquita. That means little one. That's a good name. Chiquita. Chiquita, eh?
There was no question now. The bond of friendship had grown firm and strong. Pablo felt a new joy within and a new confidence. Even the night itself seemed bright with promise. With the coming of the new day, there were early signs that this would be a very different day. A day of great decisions and even greater problems. These began with a few small drops of water. Then one of the old problems appeared in a new form, the Border Patrol. Primarily, they were on a mission of mercy now, rescue for the small boy lost in the desert. For the searchers, it was a near miss.
Buenos días, chiquita.
When Pablo began his journey, he made himself a promise, never turn back. So far, his resolve had been unshakable, but it would tremble now, just a little.
Ay. It's bad, Chiquita. But we have milk. We'll go on.
So that was the way it would be. They would go on, whatever the odds. Within the first mile, the desert began to change. In place of the lush cactus groves, there was only bone-dry sage and mesquite. It was hot, too, much hotter than yesterday. But it was still early morning, and Pablo felt fresh and strong. In this matter of desert travel, however, Chiquita was a lot closer to the problems, and she picked up a small one now. It would lead to an important discovery.
What's wrong, Chiquita? Ah, pobrecita. Sad. That hurts. Well, I fix it. That's better, eh? It says 542 Palm DR, Tucson. That must be your house. When we get to Tucson, I will take you there. Pronto. I promise. Come on, Chiquita, let's go.
Pablo had made two promises now, one to himself and one to the little dog. Mid-morning found them on a wide stretch of baked and barren ground. It was Chiquita's decision that now was the time and this was the place to take a little rest. With a little extra covering, this spot of shade was just big enough to share.
Hot, eh? How about a drink?
Good. She could use a little refreshment. There was just one thing, though. Take a hot water bottle full of milk, shake it, jounce it, jostle it, bounce it, and carry it 2 or 3 miles across the desert, and what have you got? That's right.
Drink! What's the matter? Not good enough for you? That's all we got. Drink! It is a little bit sour. But that's okay. It won't hurt. Look. Good. That's all we got. How much more do we have to go? Very far. We cannot walk here no more. Better we go mountains. There we might find water. Come on, Chiquita. Let's go.
It was still early afternoon when the desert floor revealed that Pablo was feeling a growing need to conserve his strength. On these soft and shifting sand dunes, each step had become an effort. But on this last crest, Pablo found a small reward. The distant mountains seemed closer now, and the refreshing hope of finding water there was a spur to his endurance. He soon reached an area of broken ground and rocky cliffs. Here, a dry wash seemed the best course to follow. Pablo was hoping, of course, that this little canyon would lead to higher ground and the haven of the mountains. Instead, it was just a rocky trail to another kind of trouble. Javelina, wild pigs of the desert. Pablo knew javelina come in all sizes, all dangerous.
There must be big ones.
This was the only way to the top, and he needed the Rattler's Ledge for a foothold. The javelina wanted no quarrel with the snake. They'd go their way. The snake could do the same. Beyond the canyon rim, there was bitter disappointment. The mountains were still far away. Here, there was only an alkali flat and the full blaze of the afternoon sun. It was courage alone that kept Pablo walking. The desert had become an implacable enemy. And now it called up the false promise of a mirage. Pablo knew he shouldn't believe what his eyes could see, but it looked so real, and his need was great. Now there was left only the strength of Pablo's purpose. Beyond the illusion of the mirage lay the reality of the mountains. Beyond the mountains lay Tucson. He would keep his promise. Somehow, some way, he would go on.
Our story next time is about a muchacho who'll steal your heart away. It's Pablo and the Dancing Chihuahua. The adventures of a small boy whose strong will and resourceful determination make him equal to the task of crossing the hazardous Arizona desert alone.
No, no, chiquita. Jabalina. Cuidado. There must be big ones.
And together, they face the dangers of the great Southwest, searching for the place that will make his dream come true. These irresistible partners in adventure will be here next time. Join Pablo and the Dancing Chihuahua on the wonderful world of Disney.
Pablo returns tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock. Rabbits losing vegetables, gophers missing tools, and a painting of piglets disappears. This afternoon at 4, it's the new adventures of Winnie the Pooh on the Disney Channel.